Hello, everyone! Welcome back again to mania 4Q World Cup 2024, and we're back once again with a match coming from the lower bracket, or the loser's bracket, I should say. It's going to be Hong Kong versus Sweden here. I'm Mifa, and I'll be joining with commentary alongside Eliminate. How are you doing?
I am doing very good. Just had my food. I am all very much so ready for this match. Hong Kong versus Sweden. We have a 10 seed of a difference, and this match, as you said, loses bracket. One of these teams, unfortunately, will be going home by the end of this. And Hong Kong having to go against Hong Kong, I think this team very well rounded, and Sweden are really, maybe in here with a tough one.
Yeah, absolutely. Putting up a fight on the lower bracket here, just coming out alive in the quarterfinals. However, they will be having to maybe fight for the lifeline, actually. Given the lower bracket, one of these teams will have to be eliminated from the tournament. I guess. See, the thing is that Hong Kong and Sweden has a little bit of a, of a struggle in the, in the lower brackets, especially because Hong Kong coming out of a, I believe like in round of 32, it has been like a tiebreaker. And then coming out on top against Indonesia, I believe, and then just going from like a round of 16 lower bracket. It's also coming out alive again, and now they're battling it out against Sweden, which is Sweden has been no slouch at all.
Yeah, and Hong Kong choosing to protect the rice, and Sweden choosing to protect the SV. This is something I wanted to talk about, because when you look at the results from the round of 16, right? You see Hong Kong, they are just really good at the rice pool. And then you see Sweden on the LNs. I mean, Hong Kong are still on top, but it's sometimes a little bit too close for comfort. And we don't see anything from the SV. So Sweden, maybe just, if you can't win on the rice or hybrid or LN, you win on the SV, and Hong Kong also choosing to ban the SV. So I do think Sweden here will pick their SV too, and maybe after that go into the LNs, whereas Hong Kong really comfortable, really confident on those rice maps, and maybe even the hybrids. I mean, they've got everything in their team, so yeah, Hong Kong pretty free range here.
Yeah, you'll be absolutely hard-pressed to see if Sweden will actually have done their homework on the analyzing their weaknesses from Hong Kong, especially, and given SV is their, mostly mainly protection. I guess SV2 or first frost here would be, makes sense. But then Hong Kong here, as the first pick is going to be, various artists, as you can see, especially with Jumpstreak pick into the test, which is quite a long one actually.
Yeah, and you compare this map, this Race 2, in comparison to last round's Race 2, I would like to say that the patterns in this one is easier, but because of the non-stop brutal 250 jump stream, that it's more on the stamina heavy, as it should be, right? In the last round, we did see some pretty nasty one-hand trills that could really throw you off, but this one I think is a true stamina consistency test.
Yeah, indeed. I feel, given that Hong Kong's strength has been a little bit alongside of the consistency, Koshapan, Japan, and Squiz. Also, maybe some other players like Natural Afterpan, also the other two players that I haven't forgot to mention. They have been all around so far. Hong Kong has been mainly, the three-man player, which is like Rice, which is Koshapan, Japan, and Squiz. Also, for the Sweden side, you can't really tell if it's actually the three players mainly playing for the Rice. And I believe Jumpstreak, the most straightforward of all, but at the cost of maybe trying to drain your stamina at the very beginning.
I do also want to point out, Quotient isn't in for this pick. I would have expected Quotient to be here because he is one of the best accuracy players on their team, but maybe not so confident on this pick, stamina being the main factor here, but I guess we'll see how it plays out for Hong Kong here. And Squiz finding a 50 right off the bat, and Venyas with the miss. What is that intro?
very bad intro for Venus there. Already having a one miss. I mean, the good thing is only like the very just intro, but Squid's actually kind of toe to toe. I guess in terms of accuracy drops, not too severe yet.
This really is all about that consistency, and you know, Squish, Venyez both down to 9.3 very early, and the miss from Venyez unfortunately gives the slight lead towards Hong Kong, but I mean, you have Koshpen with the 99.98. Squish fighting that miss though, and it's still somehow in Hong Kong's favor. They're just winning on the back of this accuracy from Fubuki-fan and Koshpen. Koshpen still in the 99.98.
Oh, with the drop actually is second drop by Squish actually gonna give the lead over to Sweden, but they're just recovering quite nicely. They're going back to like a 9.5, but Trimatic is kinda having a little bit of a drop themselves. Maybe it's another drop that's kinda traded out, but the lead is still nothing here.
Yeah, it should not be this close from Hong Kong's first pick, but Lemmy also finds a miss. That is 2 drops from the Sweden side now, giving a much rather comfortable lead towards Hong Kong. Venyez fighting 4 misses. This is now over 10,000 point lead Lemmy. Yet again, this just does not seem like Sweden has the stamina at this point. It seems like they're totally drained out, and Hong Kong just really taking it away from this point. Fubuki-fan, Koshpen still holding on to their full combos. Trimatic trying his damnedest, but when you look at the accuracy side of things, you can't really match this.
I mean, there's still like about another half of this chart, and considering how many drops that Sweden has, and I guess in fairness, Hong Kong has a bit of a share of fewer drops, but at this point, it's just 2 MCs to 1, and that's clearly where the difference lies.
Yeah, such a massive lead. Trimatic also loses their full combo. Sweden now down to no full combos on their team versus Hong Kong's 2 full combos going into the last quarter of the map. Can they still hold it? 45,000 point lead for them. This is very comfortable. I don't think it's even possible that Hong Kong can lose this point unless they all just decide to stop playing, really. But really, really good accuracy demonstration from Fubuki-fan and Koshpen, and I think even Squish as well, if he didn't find those misses and drops towards the start there.
Yeah, nearing to the end of the chart, Koshpen had, I guess, quite a stellar performance from the round of 32 until now. It's unchanged basically. Yeah. In fact, I think it's just getting stronger actually. The accuracy is just going up and up, and even then, it's kind of jumping like this. It's just mind-blowing.
Yeah, I mean, halfway through the map, it was only a couple thousand points of difference, but then towards the end, we already get to 55,000 points. I'm not too sure if Hong Kong felt as comfortable as they should have felt, because that was pretty dodgy towards the middle, but 55,000 point lead, I mean, you take it. That's a huge win. And Koshpen, 117 perfects. You look at the ratios in this lobby, Hong Kong, oh my goodness.
Clearly shows that their rights are they're just bare skill set. And, you know, there's like 4 slap in there. Hong Kong who can take advantage of. And Sweden though, there's not that many options if you would consider it. But given their protectors also SVA, I should say there's a comfortable point to begin with if they want to go with the SV route first.
I mean, they did protect this, so I'd like to hope they're confident on it at least. I mean, as I was talking about the results from last round, none of these teams played the SV. So I would not be surprised at all if Sweden were willing to take that gamble and just choose into the SV. Not really knowing what to expect here, but just having confidence, I think, is the main thing you really need.
Seems like we're getting information that Ocean is not in the, in the lineup, considering he's not available for the entire match, I feel, or maybe he's just coming around late. But we're getting into Classicer Einheit, the Ellen Density pick from Sweden, coming out from Sweden. We're not seeing Protect just yet. I guess they're testing out the waters to see how Hong Kong can fare well on the LS.
I mean, yeah, you've only got one SV map at your disposal. Once that's done, you're gonna need to pick into one of these maps anyway, so why not do it early? Just see how it goes. If you manage to do well, manage to take a point, maybe you'll choose it again. You don't even need to choose the SV. So, you know, I'm not going to say it's a bad pick. This is probably one of Sweden's better picks. And we'll see how it plays for them.
Yeah, we're seeing two swaps here for Sweden, and between Neon Dragon and Oliver Q, and then Hong Kong has only Minato Aquaman, and we're replacing, I guess Nikuro Raw, or essentially Fubuki Fan in this case.
Yeah, I think Hong Kong missing Quotient is a pretty bad loss for their team at this moment, but they've still got all the manpower, I think, to still perform well on these maps. I mean, Hong Kong definitely capable of choking. I do think this is one of the teams that maybe has a what they call third player syndrome, where it tends to be there's always one person maybe just falling off a bit. So Sweden, as long as they can all just get there, all keep their heads in the game, lock in. I think if everyone full combos on the Sweden side, maybe unlikely but still possible, they can definitely take this point from Hong Kong.
Yeah, we'll see once we get the start command going in. Given there's a lot of pressure, I believe, for Sweden, especially for, I guess, the picks that are not Bryce, especially because we're still dipping our toes to that one to see how Hong Kong can fare. But at the end of the day, I feel even if they're not triumphing that much in terms of LS, they still have maybe a couple of picks to go for. We're seeing all mirrors for Hong Kong.
The mirror strat. This is maybe one of the buffs in the game. Makes you get a higher score just by using mirror. It doesn't really do anything besides flip the nose to the other side. Really, you know, nothing at all. It helps prevent mind block though. So there you go. Triple mirror is definitely something interesting to see.
Alright, we'll see how this goes. Actually, so far not too bad for both teams, actually. Given their intro hasn't been too much of a slip-up just yet.
And yeah, these accuracies are just pretty relaxed at the moment. We're still yet to get into the bulk of this chart, but as we can see already in the first quarter of the map, just judging by the ratio and accuracy, it seems like these teams are pretty balanced. But, you know, like I said, we're still not at the density of this map yet. Only 2,000 point lead. Really, anything can happen.
Just about 2,000 point. I guess the accuracy difference. Neon Dragon used to be like I guess the higher score, but I guess that's a miss actually from Hong Kong.
Yeah, really early misses. Seems like they are struggling on this one section, and that will give Hong Kong quite a big lead here. All still holding on to their full combos, and I think Sweden will just need to really pry back at the accuracy, but Levy also finds another miss for Sweden. Oliver Q down to the only FC on this team on Sweden's pick. It seems like Hong Kong are pretty confident on these allies still, even with the missing player.
Yeah, this is looking very solid for Hong Kong there. Still all 3 FCs, and even then, that's still almost all beating every single Swedish player is right here. Just 30,000 point lead, nothing to be able to catch up, I feel. Given I guess the ending is pretty much the same as the intro.
Yeah, and this map is only 2 minutes long, and it seems like the entire first half is just a build-up for what's to come. And, you know, we've seen the result of that. We did see Neon Dragon and Lemmy finding their misses, and that ultimately cost them this point, really. But, I mean, just looking at the accuracies, would it have really mattered? Probably not. Koshpan with 99.77% accuracy.
Yeah, that's really, really cool to see all 3 FCs on the Hong Kong side. Just clearly goes to show how all-rounded they are. Even though, shout out to Oliver Q as well for performing just a bit above a Minato Aquafan here. But it seems like all the fellow Scandinavians here have been a fair bit behind, but we still have a few picks for Sweden to go there.
Yeah, and I will say, Hong Kong's lowest score, 975k, it does match at around Sweden's average score. So, I mean, even though we did see a big score lead towards Hong Kong there, if Sweden managed to not find those misses, that still would have been very close. Like I said, I do think Hong Kong still would have taken that point in the back of the accuracy, but still would have been very close. And I think this is a much better pick than choosing into the rice, I'd have to say.
All right, so see what Hong Kong's the next move would be. We haven't seen a raw understanding, at all even. And then there's also I guess the hybrid that hasn't been shown yet is Carry Me Away, and the Ellen is Packeteer. I feel hasn't been played either. Maybe the newer ones we get to see for Hong Kong.
Yeah, I really wouldn't be surprised if they just kept choosing rice here, to be honest. I mean, they do have the accuracy advantage. Why not just keep picking what you're comfortable on? And, you know, like you're saying, Carry Me Away, I do think that is probably maybe the hardest map in this pool. So, yeah, maybe Hong Kong do choose into Carry Me Away. But no, instead, they do go for rice 3.
All right, Corjack time. It's all right. Hong Kong is gonna have a lot of fun with this one. Caution is gonna have a lot of fun with this one, especially it's a joint highest score with Muka on like round of 16. I believe it was like Reiwa with like what 40 BPM. This is just 6 BPM higher, although it may not look like much. But Caution is probably just gonna making sure they still have the highest score from all the players here.
Yeah, and talking about this map in relation to Reiwa was more. There was quite a few streams mixed in there, making it a bit harder to act. But this map has only got like I think there's 2 streams in this map, so this really is all about accuracy, even more so than the rounds before. And you could even argue that that makes it harder, more stamina. It's more wrist consistent movement, and it's also like you said, 6 BPM higher. So we might actually, you know, see more chokes because of that. But being the core jack map, being consistency, I would like to imagine we do see a triple FC from both teams and some really good accuracies.
Yeah, let's see if this actually beats your 17. But I don't. I mean, it's up in the air basically.
Yeah, I mean, Koshpan already down to 99.99, wasn't on 9.8. Did drop a few perfects at the intro there. I mean, everyone in this lobby does look pretty comfortable, besides maybe Trimatic Venyas did drop a little bit there, but it's really not going to mean much because we're not even in the bulk of the map yet. This is still just the build-up. 1,000 points at this point is just nothing.
Oh no. Alright, so apparently Unvenia Star is gonna DC, but it's already past the 30-second mark, I feel.
Yeah, there's not going to be an abort here. I mean, Vedyas was already down to 99.6% there. I don't think, even with that score, they're going to beat Hong Kong's triple 99.9 at this moment. Levy trying their hardest, is matching Fubuki Fan at the moment, but Koshban still on the 99.98, and Squiz also on the 99.9. You have Trimatic on the 99.7. You can't really match this with this accuracy halfway through the map, and even if Venyas did not crash, I mean, these are pretty impossible scores to beat. You would need Hong Kong to miss.
Yeah, there's not really much you can do at this point, especially when 3 versus 2 isn't really something that you can avoid of. Well, I guess you can just watch the scores unfold, especially for across the board, just all averaging like 99.9, except for Trimatic, and then there's the miss, like I said before.
Yeah, pretty unfortunate miss there. Already down to 9.5, but you know, like I said, Hong Kong's accuracy here, Koshpad with the 99.98% in the closing of the map. And Lemmy, I just want to say, also a very commendable score, 99.91. Just a little bit behind Fubuki Fan on the 99.93. I mean, this is what you kind of expect on a Jack pick. But yeah, Hong Kong would have taken that point by quite a lot, most likely, regardless.
Yeah, this looks like that's a team score and a half, like 6,000 away from like 3 million, and just look at that 26, 100, 143, 131. Trimatic, bit of few fair issues there, but there's really not that much you can do, especially with that kind of team score.
Yeah, I mean, Hong Kong 1-200 away from a triple V1 SS, and Levy also with the triple, sorry, not triple, Levy also with the V1 double S, but Trimatic with the 1 miss and the 50, and just the ratio difference. Yeah, I mean, that's just a clean sweep from Hong Kong on that map, unfortunately. But that was Hong Kong's pick, and Sweden now, I would like to imagine they're probably going to pick into the SV here. I mean, it's still possible they choose an LN, but I would say SV is probably their best pick at this moment.
Yeah, so Sweden's pick, it has to be SVs at this point. Dipping their toes even further to LNs might not be the wise idea, but they're going for it. They're going for First Frost. There you go.
Yeah, and there you have it. This is their Protect, and I guess we'll see how well both of these teams have practiced this SV map. And, you know, like I said earlier, we have seen no results from the round of 16 map pool from both of these teams on the SV maps. So as the pools get harder and harder, we will be able to see just how well these teams can perform on the more difficult SV maps. And this will be their test for both of these teams.
And now we're seeing Johnny now for the Sweden side, and Hong Kong's third player might be... I actually don't know. We kind of see a little bit of a difference in terms of player roster. Just we don't know the third player is going to be from Hong Kong.
Yeah, I'm a bit unsure as to who would come in here for Hong Kong, but these do look like, you know, they're normal setups for these maps. And, you know, this map is 3.5 minutes long, so we might already be able to determine a clear winner from the get-go and be able to maybe just see who's putting more practice. But, you know, SV being SV, that could really flip at any moment. But I think with regards to seeing practice from gameplay, you could really see that in the start of the map.
All right, Resist is coming for Hong Kong here. Actually, yeah, that makes so much more sense, given Resist has also played the SVs in like round of 32 as well. So we should be maybe like a full SV roster. Actually, maybe not for Koshaman. It's actually swapped by Nico the Rock or Fubuki Man.
I guess maybe they've all just put in more practice. I mean, at the end of the day, I guess it doesn't really matter who goes in. It's all about who has put in the practice. So it could be anyone, right? Let's not get too hasty. And all players are ready, getting into the first and only SV map that is available in this match. And like I said, I do think we'll be able to see who's put in a good amount of practice within the first maybe like 30 seconds.
Yeah, we're seeing I believe that's a fade-in for Resistance here.
Yeah.
Interesting enough. Oh wow, okay. Oh yeah, I don't think
Okay,
that's pretty much seals their fate.
Yeah, I think Hong Kong have, as a matter of fact, got 2 set reads on their team. I feel like this has happened in the last match, UK versus Australia. Maybe, I'm not too sure, but I do think Sweden will take this point. As I was saying about the find out who's put in practice in the first 30 seconds, I think we can clearly see Sweden have definitely put in some practice versus Hong Kong. Yeah, maybe not.
Yeah, that's actually by looking at it, that's a team performance from Sweden there. That's no one's below 99.7. Lenny was like 99.9 until like the first quarter of it.
I still find it pretty crazy that this guy is playing Faden on this. I don't know how people can do that.
I mean, I guess Faden doesn't really obscure much of it visually because of even if you lower the scroll speed, you can still see the SVs in full effect anyway.
I suppose, yeah, it's about that memory as well. But yeah, I mean, I have no idea how to pronounce that username. Risizus, maybe? fighting their best. So does Neon Drakon as well. So Sweden now only down to their 2 full combos, down from their 3, but still, I mean, you have a triple 99 from the Swedish roster, and I think now we can definitely see why they protected SV. And also we could see, on the other side of things, why Hong Kong banned SV1.
Well, yeah. I mean, if Sweden doesn't decide to protect SV2, then Hong Kong probably would have banned SV2 anyway. Maybe.
Yeah, I'm not too sure if the Swedish roster know just how much they're winning by at this moment in time. They're probably still really putting in the effort, as they should. I mean, Johnny also finding that miss. Levy now the only full combo in this lobby, sitting at 99.63%, but can they hold it for the rest of the map? Still got a quarter left to go.
I mean, let's be honest. Even if one of them disconnects, the lead still goes to Sweden because of that enormous gap there.
Yeah, it's not every day you see a player on 73% and 88% respectively as a team score there. But still, this is just a given at this point towards Sweden. They will be taking their first point on their Protect, and this is, like I said, the only SV map in the match, being as SV1 is banned. So can Sweden still manage to pick up other points? This might be their confidence boost, potentially.
Lemmy's really balling with this kind of score, though. Not gonna lie, this is actually such a good score by Lemmy, though. 99.66. That's a very, very good score. 988 for Lemmy, and Johnny and Drakon actually not too far behind from the rest from the rest of the teammates, but that's a point on the board for Sweden.
Yeah, I mean, the accuracy from the Swedish roster, very, very good. 6, 9, and 16 200s across all players. I mean, if we didn't see those misses from Neon and Johnny, we could have seen a really good team score. That would be pretty hard to beat, I would say.
Well, not in this case. That I guess if you would count like FCs for all Sweden, that's a tough thing to deal and tough thing to beat that kind of team score though. But Hong Kong's turn to pick. There's still 3 rice left there. We'll see if the either raw understanding or they're just gonna go with the TV size.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, again, I do think Hong Kong just keep choosing into the race here. I would be surprised if they chose LN, but maybe we could see a hybrid on the board, like Hybrid 2. But ultimately, Hong Kong knows they've got the accuracy advantage on these rice maps, so why not just keep it safe? Why not just keep picking those maps? I mean, any rice map is probably good for Hong Kong in this situation.
Yeah, TV size time.
Yeah, we get race 5 with this very long name for a map, and this map is pretty, I mean, it's dumpy, yeah, but it's very, I would say, chokeable as well. So Hong Kong choosing maybe one of the more physical maps, maybe one of the more harder ones, but also if you are able to play it, then it could just be another ACK map, right? So I guess it just really depends on how good these players are and if they're able to maintain that consistency on this.
Alright, we're seeing Oliver Q here. Interesting enough, that would be I guess we're probably seeing first, maybe a second time playing Rice for Sweden side anyway.
I mean, yeah, anyone can really come out here from Sweden, but it does look like these rosters have solidified, and we do get Kosh, Squiz, and Fubuki versus Vinyas, Levy, and Oliver Q. And apparently their leader is good to go. So that's not very good. They're now down 2 players at this moment.
That's kind of a wild occurrence when when you're down by 2 players, but you still have like 4 solid players to go with.
Yeah, definitely not a good thing for your team, but that does, like you say, it does show just how good this core roster is of Hong Kong and how capable they are of spreading their skills across all these maps and the diversity that they all have.
It's also very short, so any miss really counts for any lead that comes up later on.
Yeah, we see a big accuracy drop there from Fubuki Fan, all the way down to 9.3. But the lead was in Sweden's favor there, but that already went back, and I think Sweden just lost quite a bit of AC. I'm not too sure what happened, but 1,000 points this early in.
Ooh.
This is a TV size.
Yeah, we're entering the second half already. We already talked about quite a bit, so we'll see how this goes. Actually, if no miss does occur. Oh, actually, well, let me miss there.
Yeah, Levy the first miss in the lobby and the first miss on the Swedish side. So 10,000 point lead already. This is not something you want to give on a map this short. But we are just about to get into the Kiai. Can players still hold their combo? Can they still hold the act? 10,000 points. It might seem like a lot, but Squiz finds that miss, and that will give a lot of score back to Sweden. But Levy trades it back.
Oliver Q with also another one too. That's a lead already, like a 30,000 just jumps right back in.
Yeah, a lead this massive in the closing section of the map. It did seem like it was possible on the back of Squiz's miss there, but it was just not meant to be. 44,000 points, and this really just does show Hong Kong's ability on these rice maps. Koshban with the V1SS and Fubuki Fan Lemmy also very good accuracies. And I do want to mention the ratios from all these players are pretty close. I think if there was a slightly more, if there was slightly better accuracy from Sweden, they could have actually taken this point.
Yeah, but unfortunately, like with the trades there coming from Oliver Q and Lemmy, it's a little bit too much, especially given the length. And I believe that's Koshipen's 3 V1SS throughout this match. We're seeing various artists V1SS, Pure Misery V1SS, and Koiwa Chaos is also V1SS. Almost flawless there.
Yeah, showing a really great performance. But now, Sweden's pick, the LN2 did seem like, I mean, there was a possibility, right? There was. So Sweden most likely just going to choose another LN. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, either one could be picked, but maybe LN3? I'm not really too sure, but this could be Sweden's last pick, so they really need to make this one count.
Yeah, even though they're running out of options, given that LN doesn't really work. The other thing is maybe a hybrid, which I'm a little bit dubious if Sweden's going to go for it, but they're actually going to go with Raputa.
Yeah, it's quite an interesting choice to go for a hybrid. I'm not too sure if it's Sweden's best choice, but I mean it's a hybrid. We haven't seen a hybrid yet this match, so there is still
might as well go
room
for
error
it
here. Yeah, exactly. May as well.
Although this is the, I guess, I'm not sure. Maybe highest star rating in a regular pick, maybe. Apart from the tiebreaker, of course.
Yeah, 6.44 stars and only 2 minutes 26 seconds. Yeah, again, not a very long map. I suppose maybe most of the maps are around this length anyway, so it's it's pretty reasonable, I guess. But yeah, Sweden, I mean, maybe choosing to gamble a hybrid. I mean, you've lost LN, you've lost Rice. Hybrid has been avoided. It's the middle ground. It's just the in-between. So, I mean, go for it. Take a gamble.
Alright, we'll see how the Sweden can fare on the hybrids. We haven't seen this much of on the match just yet. We have seen LM, we have seen Rice. Let's just combine those two.
Into the intro of the map. We don't really see much, but we do see maybe a little bit of an accuracy drop there from Squiz and Oliver Q, but really meaningless with Squiz
Oh,
already finding
that's a
that
bad
really
intro.
bad drop.
Oh, that's a bad intro. Squiz already down like 98.5 already.
Yeah, those misses were really bad. I mean, 98% this early on? I mean,
there's a solid chance.
It is really early. Yeah, it's too early to call, and Sweden have already got a pretty comfortable lead, but they all just need to really hold on to it. But Neon, finding that miss, I mean, is it going to be enough for Hong Kong to take back that lead?
Squiz trade as well. Actually, those 3 misses from the Squiz, just from that, is enough to dent the lead, and Sweden's coming away with like a 10,000 point lead. But that's still quite a bit to go. Oh, Neon Checo! Oh my God, that's a bad call block.
Yeah, that cost so much accuracy there. Went from like a 99 already down to 98.3, just that fast. And the lead just flipped entirely. Now 10,000 points in Hong Kong's favor instead. I mean, can they hold on to it? Squiz, we did see some really nasty drops earlier. I mean, it's entirely possible that it happens again, but Oliver Q finding that miss, giving an even stronger lead to Hong Kong.
Yeah, there's still quite a lot there. There's quite a fair bit of harder patterns. Lemmy, there's no full combos on the Sweden side. There's still 2 left on the Hong Kong side. It's really looking very good.
Yeah, Sweden all just finding those misses. I mean, it was looking pretty good for them earlier on in the map, but Squiz has managed to find his footing, and he's just comboing the rest of it. There's only less than the core of the map left, 33,000 points. Does not seem likely that Hong Kong can choke this. Let me again with another miss, and this is going to be almost a 40,000 point lead with only a couple seconds left on the map.
Yeah, you're coming out to the end. I guess there's really not that much you can do. That drop from Neon Dracon was absolutely disgusting and unfortunate to see, because that call lock was like the triples and the grace, and that really costed it.
Yeah, that was like a 20,000 point deficit from just that one drop.
Look at that!
Crazy.
13,100s, 13,100s, 5 misses, just one section alone.
I still think, regardless, Hong Kong would have taken that point on the back of 991 and 987k on that side. I think Neon, even if he had 1 mil, they still wouldn't have had enough. Maybe barely. Maybe, but yeah.
Solid. Oh man, that's still quite tough to deal. Especially even then, Hong Kong has the match point potential here. There's 2 rice picks, whichever of the 2 they're gonna go. Just please be oral understanding, because it hasn't been shown just yet.
I mean, yeah, Hong Kong, they can really just choose anything at this point, right? I mean, still to be expected, a rice map. So they've still got Rice 4, Rice 6 at their disposal. But they choose to go into Hybrid 3 instead.
Alright, here we go. Dragonland. Yeah, actually, not too bad, actually. Given this is a bit harder, maybe I'll take that back. Maybe it's just complex enough to making sure there's quite a bit of a drop. Not in the way of density, but it's dense enough to the point that you can just get bad judgments.
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I don't think this is Hong Kong's best pick, but I suppose they're up 5-1 and they're pretty confident that they can take points on pretty much any of these pools. Maybe they're just like, you know, maybe this map is just pretty fun. They can just kind of take it away from them. But Sweden, you know, being able to capitalize on that, this might be actually one of their optimal picks when you look at, okay, they could have picked their rice map, right? So Hybrid 3. Actually, Sweden, we just saw on the last Hybrid map, you know, anything's possible. And if we see some more chokes from like Squiz, like we did see last time, oh my god, we could see another point to Sweden.
You're still waiting for the third Swedish player. Although, interestingly enough, we're not seeing crush for Hong Kong.
Yeah, very bizarre. Maybe they're just, letting someone else take their spot. Just have fun with it, I suppose. Oliver Q does come back in. And I think we have seen this roster for Sweden on majority of these maps.
Yeah, they played on like Raputa before, and I guess these three man slot, and so not so surprising. They're just their best players to be able to battle it out against Hong Kong. Although this pick is really hard to do, and it's just really easy to get bad judgments just from a misread alone. And for those of you who are around in 2018, this was the pick by the same song, but it's an SV chart by Toe. The song slaps, and the chart also slaps. So we should play that one as well. If you're around in 2018, you would like to play SVs, you can just go there.
Yeah, I guess a little shout out to Toph there for his SV map, but also like you were saying, this map being hard to act, easy to get bad judgments on, this map is basically 3 minutes long, right? That is a lot of time for things to go wrong, and especially so on a map like this. We do see some early accuracy drops there from Squiz, a couple 200s coming out, giving an early lead. I mean, we're not even in any part of the map just now, and Sweden have already got almost 2,000 point lead there.
Yeah, Sweden has an early lead, but this just the interlude, and it's not even worse off yet. Now we're going to a little bit more whoop-dumps, almost. Oh man, so Alcohol with the first damage there for Hong Kong, actually.
Yeah, that miss, that's the first miss in this lobby. I mean, already a quarter of the way through the map, but this map does not let go. Oliver Q finding a miss to trade
second one.
Yes, 2 misses in the lobby, but Sweden still looking to maintain that lead. I think they still have the accuracy advantage here regardless.
Ooh.
2 players on 99.7.
That's a lead. Actually, just go straight away to Hong Kong because of Neon Dragon Oliver Q. Also drops accuracy here. Fubuki fan with the second person to drop from Hong Kong. There's a sliver of hope for Sweden here.
Yeah, halfway through the map. Like I said, this map is basically 3 minutes long, so there still is a lot of map left to go, but 7,000 points. Fubuki fan finding yet another miss. This is giving a good lead to Sweden here at this somewhat of a break section, but even this section is hard enough.
Solid chance for Sweden to be able to take the break point from Hong Kong here. But that's still like the last third of this song. The last third is not even that much easier.
And Sweden are still managing to increase that lead even more. They have just better accuracy overall. Fubuki fan missing at this relatively slow section. That's a little bit bizarre there, but 18,000 point lead. We are going to need to see some heavy drops from Sweden here to give it back to Hong Kong, especially with the accuracy advantage.
Sweden is not even faced on Oliver Q with the miss there, but that's still not enough. There's like 2 or 3 more drops left. Drakon, massive misread there.
Yeah, really bad accuracy drop there. There's not much of the map left to go. I mean, 10,000 points. The Drakon finds a really bad miss and accuracy drop. 4,000 points now.
Is there enough time there? Fubuki fan with the trade there is Neon Drakon, but there's still like 5,000 point lead. Fubuki fan with the massive mistake again.
10,000 points. That felt a lot closer than that towards the end there. Fubuki fan had not missed at that outro. Oh my god, we could have been seeing a defeat already. But Sweden taking a break point from Hong Kong.
Sweden managed to stay alive from that bizarre pick from Hong Kong there. Neon Drakon with a massive bad judgments throughout the ending there, but it was not clearly. It was a jump scare, but it was clearly not enough.
Yeah, 991k there from Lemmy. Very commendable score. Very nice score. And I mean, overall, from that Swedish roster, they put up a pretty good fight there. I mean, besides the misses, they had a pretty good accuracy and team score, and they looked pretty confident, I would like to say, on that hybrid map. I wouldn't be surprised if Sweden... Okay, maybe I would be surprised if they picked hybrid too, but... I mean, the option's there.
Yeah, hybrid 2, we haven't seen carry me away either. Well, so far today. But Missing Packet Hero, fair enough. That we haven't seen that song in, just yet.
Yeah, opting to choose away from Carry Me Away, and like I said, that it's not really surprising. Carry Me Away is pretty difficult. I do think it is the hardest map in this pool, so that probably isn't Sweden's best pick. But choosing into LN1, I do agree with this pick. I just think Sweden, after taking that point on Hybrid 3, they've got it. You know, they've got the confidence, they've got the mental to know we can still manage to take LN.
Yeah, absolutely. This is even though they're still in a bit of a pickle, still in a kind of a dire situation, but Quotient's now finally coming back in after a long absence.
Yeah, being gone for that one map. I mean, maybe this is the game changer here. Koshman coming back in. How confident are they on LN1? I would say probably pretty confident. Koshman is pretty good at the game.
Oh, not too sure because the third player isn't. Okay. We're still solidifying the same team members for Sweden. Quotient coming back in from Hong Kong. Not too sure if that's a good move because from that long absence, I don't think Quotient's that well worn. But I could be proven wrong.
Yeah, Quotient back from their McDonald's now in the lobby. This is the first time, I believe. So, I mean, Quotient was one of their main players, one of their core players. So, I guess it depends how much warm-up they have. If his hands are cold, we could see some chokes and maybe actually go to Sweden because of that. But if they have managed to find time to get that warm-up in, this is an even stronger roster than before for Hong Kong.
Alright, we should be seeing soon enough after, I guess, once everyone's ready. But this is, I believe, maybe first or second time this chart being shown. But we haven't seen quite a lot of release coordination being just, I guess, for a few matches. So this is fairly new, at least for us anyway.
I mean, looking at the round of 16 results, the score lead wasn't even that massive on the releases between these two teams. So, with this map being a bit harder, maybe that does favor Hong Kong a little bit more. But, like, the point I'm trying to get across is that this is still entirely winnable for Sweden on LN1 on these releases.
Just about solid enough for a start for both of these teams. Both Koshman and Quotient about like averaging 99.8. Only Minato Aquafan is falling behind from the rest of the teammates.
Yeah, I mean, already giving Hong Kong a 7,000 point lead. The accuracy is a bit low from Sweden here. But at the end of the day, it does just come down to combo. If Hong Kong does manage to find a miss or two, that will sway it back towards Sweden. Maybe they don't need the accuracy just yet. We are still yet to get into the bulk of this map.
Yeah, just looking at it like 8,000 point lead. Although this, actually Minato Aquafan just almost dipped below 99 there. I actually believe I swing a little bit there.
Yeah, with Minato having the lowest accuracy in the lobby, but being backed up by Quotient and Koshman with a 99.6 and 99.7 respectively. Halfway through the map, they seem to be pretty confident. If Minato does manage to find more accuracy drops, then maybe Sweden can capitalize, but I think they're really just trying to focus on full comboing at this point and really relying on Hong Kong missing.
We're reaching in the last third of the song there. Not too much in the way. The lead actually just keeps growing, actually.
Yeah, it keeps growing. In the last quarter of the map, 17,000 point lead. We do see some more accuracy drops from the Swedish side. There's not really much time left. If we're going to see drops, we can see it now. And Oliver is the first to find the drop. That might just be the final nail in the coffin for this roster.
Yeah, there's not that much time left to recover. 25,000 point lead, and Koshman and Quotient is not gonna miss. They don't really miss at this point.
Yeah, with Basically nothing left in the map. We do see a very, very, very big lead towards Hong Kong here, 27,000 points, and it's just practically unwinnable for Sweden. We do see a 6-2 to Hong Kong, and oh my god, Koshman and Quotient accuracy. Neon as well.
Yeah, very, very good performances. Almost a six-way FC, but 6-2 win to Hong Kong, and that is the end of the line for fellow Scandinavians here.
Yeah, Sweden unfortunately being knocked out of the tournament. Hong Kong still managing to stay in, but they now need to face the UK in their next matchup.
Yep, there you have it. Lower bracket is getting pretty tight so far, especially Hong Kong coming just maybe when the matchups when they face United Kingdom, and things get tough, especially because they in quarterfinals they have like 2 matches to play. Given if they won the first match, and there's a second matchup to determine the top 12 or the semi-finalists.
Yeah, I do think some of these matches are maybe going to get quite a bit spicy here. I mean, already just from the get-go, we are going to probably see some very close matches, and this is only just off the back of these 4 recent matches. But don't go anywhere, because we are going to have Russia versus France 8 minutes from now, so very soon. Mifa, do you have anything else to say as we close up this stream?
Well, not really so much about closing the stream, but I do want to mention, because Russia versus France is, I believe, is also a lower bracket, I would say. So I guess so far in the tournament, I guess the schedule for today has been like all lower bracket matches. So Russia versus France is also quite close as well. So don't really miss out on that, because there may be a potential tiebreaker in this kind of a matchup here, especially there's been quite a lot of 6-2, 6-1, so be sure to catch up on that 7 minutes from now.
Yeah, that'll be it from us. So like I said, don't go anywhere. 7 minutes. Be here again. Okay, take care guys, we'll see you soon.